what I want to dive into is, we talked about 45, we talked about Viore. I want to talk about Fitstop. What is Fitstop, and how is it different to other, companies in the group fitness space?
Yeah. I mean, there's layers to all this. I mean, I think for the most kind of well-rounded understanding, it's accessible strength training. When I mean accessible, it's for anybody and everybody, right? What the team has really kind of capitalized on is this, I think this level of information and knowledge when it comes to the importance of strength training, especially as we age and as we get older, for, not only stronger bodies, but bone density, stronger limbs and stuff like that. And that requires load, right? And when I say load, it requires like tangible load, something that people are comfortable with and they feel, at least like through some levels of assistance, I can do this, right? And I think, so many times people see, bodybuilding and CrossFit, and they're just like, I can't do those things. Like, why would you expect me to ever do? Like, I'll never get to that place, right? And so when I say accessible, it's something that's digestible and people feel like I can jump into this and make this happen, right?
Yeah.
I also think that a lot of people in a group fitness atmosphere, they're looking probably for something that is a little bit more strength-based. Hence why I think this is a huge opportunity for us in this market, where people, they've done their hits, they've done their running or their cycling or whatever it might be from a group fitness understanding. And they're just like, hey, it's like, I see enough people on Instagram, I see enough people on YouTube, I have plenty of coaches, credible coaches, doctors saying I need more strength training, in my protocol. Yeah. And I think that's what we provide, right? What I fell in love with, from sports till now, is that interaction in that group training atmosphere, similar to what we did yesterday. Yeah. Just hanging with the boys, right? And moving weight and having some fun.
Flexing, puffing out our chests.
Exactly. The way that we kind of structure our workouts is within that team dynamic. You're either working in teams of 2, teams of 3, teams of 6. So it's forced engagement. You have to interact with the people that you're working out with. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody, right? But it brought me right back to like college sports, right? Where I'm just like, oh, this makes sense because we're sharing back squats, we're stripping weights, we're putting weight on, we're spotting each other. And that's what we ask from our clientele, is naturally that interaction, right? Talking through a workout, not just being in the same space and moving in the same space, but naturally being like, oh, okay, I have to work with this person, maybe spot this person, maybe help them, talk to them through the entire thing. And we're also rep-based. It's not work against the clock, right? I don't like junk volume. I don't like junk reps, right? So the intention is always clear when it comes to our strength protocol. We give you set reps for each and every station. We make sure that you're kind of moving in that prioritized way. We're loading correctly. We're resting. We're not working against the clock. I think we're doing a lot of re-educating right now for people that are coming into our studios because they're just like, oh, shoot, I only got 7 minutes or I got 30 seconds here. Yeah. I really got to get as many reps as I can. It's like, no. Slow down, prescribe the load, right? Understand the movement, take the rests, and then perform, right? And that's what we're doing from a programming standpoint. But don't get me wrong, it's not strictly S&C because that can get boring as all hell, especially for the masses. We do work in a progressive overload. We're a 12-week program built out solely off of strength, but we build in your metcons, we build in your aerobic capacities, we build all those like the fun things to have where you're breathing heavy and you're sweating all over the dang place. But it's all it's mastered and put together in a way that is, digestible for a 5-week or a 6-day period. Sorry, not a 5-day or 6-day period. But we ask all of our clients to show up just for 3. It's like, if I can get you for 3 days out of the week, I'm happy. Yeah. Right? It doesn't have to be anything chaotic because I want you to move more, to live more. And it's like, if you're constantly living in the gym, similar to myself, right? For so many years, the gym for me is my happy place, but now applying the fitness, doing a rug club, playing volleyball, playing paddle tennis, whatever it might be, go apply it, right? There's no need to be stuck inside 4 walls and constantly just crushing your soul over and over again. And that's the intention.
I love that. Yeah. The application. Because that's my favorite part, man. Yeah. You go to the beach when you're looking good and,
right.
Feels better.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it all. It's like, aesthetics is always a byproduct of whatever you're doing.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
And I think people are always fighting for the aesthetics. Like, how do I lose this amount of weight? Or how do I look this way and stuff like that? It's just like, look, just give consistency to a program and you're going to get there, right? And you'll have that nice byproduct, right? You'll feel more confident, mental clarity, sleep patterns, all those things that are so important to life and just like being fulfilled throughout life. It's just naturally you have to give consistency to that program. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, there's the consistency, there's discipline, there's just showing up, and you know, you're saying your quality of life is going to go through the roof, because that's one thing I try to explain to people. Is so many times people get in their head and they're like, okay, I'm not going to look like that guy or this. Well, that guy took 20 years of his life to get to that point, you know, and it takes time to get out of shape. It takes time to get into shape. And we all have different levels, right? Like you probably are not going to go run a 100-mile marathon.
Right.
You know, if you want to compare it to other people, like I know I'm not going to run
that's
like
a
half
long
marathon. But that's my point though.
Yeah.
But if someone goes into your lane and you're performing at your peak, you know, you're one of the top performers in the world, right? So if you look at it that way, it's like, what are your goals? What's your intention? Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to have the, you know, aesthetic physique? There's different styles of training that do all that. But if you want the quality of life and you want to be healthy, this sounds like something that is just going to be all out, all around good.
Yeah. And you're correct. I mean, look, when it comes to standardized group programming, I know a lot of like coaches and trainers gawk at that kind of thing. It's just like, hey, it can't be a one size fit all, which I totally understand, right? If somebody wants to get specialized in a certain thing, or they want certain things like, you know, it's like, hey, I want to lose, you know, weight here, or I'm looking to develop, you know, my shoulders a little bit more and stuff like that. You're probably going to go to a coach, right, and get those things done, right? But if you just want to feel better and move better and live better, it's like, I'm going to provide that for you. You know, I'm going to give you that through a program. And guess what? You're going to socialize a little bit. You're going to be a part of a community. And I get it. It's like for a lot of people, that's not it. But for the people that we appeal to, they love it. They really do.
Yeah.
And the drive towards community, but the drive towards community is such a big piece for us. And so outside of just sweating in the same space, you are talking to people. You are interacting with people. And so every time I see somebody that's brand new, they're like, look, that was awesome. You know, I'd be happy to come back for another week, but I just made 2 new friends today. Like I literally got their numbers. It's like, we're going to hang out. It's like, that's what I really appreciate after like a good group fitness class. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it should be all about. You know, it's you're over here, you're all working towards a similar goal of bettering yourself, right? So you're already going to find people that are like-minded. It's already difficult to get in there and do that, but when you make it more attainable, it's more enjoyable, and then you want to keep coming back, and then you keep on doing it. Because if you go into a gym, that's why, you know, there's been that stipulation of women being on the weight room floor. And not doing that to a degree, not as many, right? Because they're afraid of the weights or being around all these big men all the time. It's a very unapproachable space at times, right? But giving it, making people feel comfortable there. And also I found too, like I'm one, like, yes, I'm self-driven and I love to, you know, get the results, and I know what I'm looking for. I've studied this for years, and I know what I want to achieve aesthetically, physically, cardiovascularly, like all aerobically, you know, but it's not that for everybody. And when you can break it down to, okay, I'll say this to myself, even though I do this and I'm being self-driven most of the time, it is nice to be guided through something, to not have to think about it anymore. When you train with your buddies, I'm like, yo, we're doing your training today. Let's go. Even if it's just you and your buddy, like we did yesterday. I was like, I just ran with you guys and it was great. You know, I might have outperformed a few times, you know, but it still gets,
shut up an hour late. That's okay. Yeah.
I think that's a really good point too, is like,
thanks for throwing that in there, by the way.
Everyone is so different, right? And like right now I'm at the point, I mean, shit, dude, I had back surgery a couple years ago, like after I was training super, super hard with a trainer one-on-one. And right now I'm just doing like 3 to 4 days a week, light free weights, bunch of cardio, you know, pull downs, every type of free weight you can imagine. And I'm like just getting back into it, but I'm also eating really well. And have been for the last like 6 months. Right. My watch, it like doesn't even fit anymore. I'm like crazy.
It's good.
It's like falling off, dude. Yeah. But like I've been eating really good, and I've been doing like a light version of working out.
Yeah.
And that right now is what I need. And then once I kind of build up back a little more strength, I'll go back to Equinox, like a group thing in, you know, maybe try something like Fitstop, like I just kind of like building back up to like that strength level where I'm a little more comfortable going in like a public arena for it. That makes sense.
That's a great point. And honestly, I think, you know, we get caught up so much in the performance aspect when we step into group fitness that we're like, I got to keep up with these people. Oh, they look so much more fit than I am. Like, what am I doing here? Should I even be here? It's terrifying. It's terrifying to so many people when they step in there for the first time, especially for like the first week. Yeah. And they're like, I'm just not fit enough for that yet. It's like, that's the reality of what I'm trying to do for you though, is I'm trying to make sure that I'm going to guide you in the right way. I'm going to give you the right instructions. I'm going to give you the right program. We're going to give you the right sets and the right reps to get to that place where you can be fit enough to do whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
Right. I think that's like I hear it all the dang time. It's like, I'm just not fit enough for that yet. That's fine. Honestly, if you want to find a little bit more confidence, a little bit more control,
Couple more
I
weeks,
get it.
I
I
got it.
totally understand. Yeah. Because it happens. It happens all the dang time. But naturally, that's the intention of the program, right?
Yep.
Is to help you get there. It's just getting over those hurdles and those ebbs and flows. And I mean, to Brock's point, exactly. You just have to show up. The toughest part is literally getting your ass up out of bed and getting to the studio. If you get there, you got an hour of like guided instruction. You're going to get your butt handed to you in the best way possible. And it's like, and that's it. You walk out and you're like, okay, that's great.
Thank you for watching Studio 22.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow our socials at Studio 22 Podcast.